Here we go on a Tuesday, live in Los Angeles. It's the Herd. Wherever you may be and however you may be listening, iHeartRadio, Fox Sports Radio, FS1. Joy Taylor last night was at some comedy festival, hanging out with all the funniest people in the world at the Greek Theater in Los Angeles.
I don't know if that's an accurate statement. I did not meet Larry David, but I was in the presence of Larry David last night.
Very informative, a lot of wisdom. He's a sage, a comedy sage.
He's a comedy sage. Yes, it was. He wasn't doing stand-up. It was like a moderated discussion.
I
about,
love those.
You know, his career. Yeah, you know, you try and pull some gems from the greats. I like to study the greats.
Yes.
Get inspired.
Yes, I think that's great. I'm home eating pasta and oatmeal cookies, and you're out here gleaning excellence.
Well, you know, after the Miami Heat made quick work of the Sixers last night.
Well, let's start with that. It may be much, much quicker work. Joel Embiid is out, and last night the Sixers really needed a gem from James Harden, and they got 5 for 13 in lousy defense, and this is now what he is, and we've got to be okay with that. When it goes downhill fast as a pro athlete. In the bubble season, he averaged 30 a year. It wasn't long ago, 4 years ago, he was an MVP. But in the last 11 playoff games, he's been held under 25 points, and this is who he is. He is no longer a 1, and frankly, very quickly, he is now no longer a 2. He could be a 3 in a championship team. He closed too many nightclubs. He didn't take care of his body. And he's only 32. That is not coincidentally the age of Cam Newton when he fell off a cliff and Russell Westbrook's age when he fell off a cliff. If you don't take care of your game and you don't take care of your body, sometimes it's both, sometimes it's Cam just one, it ends quickly. He is now 32 and 33. That's the age, 10 years of either neglect or just not staying current. That's what my wife always says. Stay current. Westbrook struggled to hit the 3. Cam's efficiency now is a huge liability. And James Harden just didn't stay in shape. Now, here's the good news. He can still be impactful. He can still be part of a great team. There are nights, he can facilitate better now. But the thing I think if you're a Philadelphia 76er fan, the good news is he's got some self-awareness. He knows what he is. So I went and looked up this morning. He doesn't have a single game as a 76er with over 20 shots. You know, Westbrook's still living in the tunnel. Carmelo forever lived in the tunnel. Harden's like, I'm not a 20-shot-a-game guy. I can't get those shots. So he can still be impactful. He can still be part of a championship team eventually. But they needed him last night, and he's just not there. This is what James Harden is. Now, I still think the Sixers won the trade. Why? Because he's a starter and a top 3 starter for Philadelphia. You had to get Ben Simmons out of the building. You're not going to play Andre Drummond much in a big spot late in the game. So the Sixers won the trade. But maybe it's not the slam dunk because he's a limited player. And if you combine Embiid's injuries with Harden's pretty fast erosion, he struggles now to get by people like he once did. This is not a championship team. If Embiid comes back, they can be a really good team, but Embiid's going to be hobbling through these playoffs even if he does come back, and this is now what Harden is. The good news for Philadelphia, Tyrese Maxey is really good, and Tobias Harris can give you 23 points on any night of a series. But this is the reality of being a pro athlete. When you don't stay current, either you don't keep up with your game, you don't refine it, you don't sandpaper it every year, or you don't take care of yourself. The numbers like 32, 33-year-old, Cam Newton wasn't very far removed from an MVP, off the cliff. Like couldn't beat out Mac Jones. We'll just get him out of the room. Westbrook. It was the last 3 stops have been painful. And it's not as painful for Harden because he can still hit jumpers, but he can't get by guys. He just can't get by him. He can't get the shots. He knows he can't get the shots. And here's James. They needed a big game. They didn't get it. They're down now, and here's what he had to say.
I think I can be a little bit more aggressive. They did a really good job of just boxes and elbows, showing their bodies and crowding the ball when ball screens came. So we'll watch film, find ways to get better. But I think, the shot making is what opens up the floor for our entire team. We make a couple shots, then that floor opens up a little bit more.
Schematically, what did Miami do to prevent you from getting to the free throw line as often as you do?
Next question.
All right, now we move to the Suns-Mavericks. I said I wanted to watch the first game of the series and see how the matchup went. I felt Dallas had to win one of the first couple of games in the series. They're not terribly deep. They're going to rely heavily on Luka. So you're not going to win a 7-game series. The longer it goes, the worse it is for Dallas because they're so reliant on Luka. Well, I watched last night. This series is big trouble for Dallas. Number one is Phoenix is going to control the boards. They did. Phoenix is not reliant on one player. So as the series extends, you get a better rested, a deeper team. Dallas is actually in the exact same spot they were with Dirk Nowitzki. They've got a transformational player. Luka is better than Dirk, but they've got a transformational player, and now they got to find a 2. And because he's great, the expectations will always be high, but the gap between, Brunson and Spencer Dinwiddie and Luka is the Grand Canyon. And if you look around the NBA right now, Phoenix has 3 legitimate scorers. Milwaukee's got 3 legitimate scorers. Golden State, depending on Jordan Poole or Wiggins, can have 4 legitimate scorers. Even Philadelphia, with Embiid, Tyrese Maxey, and Harris or Harden each being a half, you got about 3.5 scorers. Dallas has 1. And the problem for Dallas is they're a little Bitcoin. They've got to play above themselves and get spikes to win. They need a 48-point game from Luka. They need Spencer Dinwiddie to hit 6 threes. They need these spikes to be successful. Phoenix is Berkshire Hathaway. Mid-range jumpers. Same performance every night. 7 straight playoff games. Shot over 50%. You know exactly what you're getting with the Phoenix Suns. They hit more mid-range jumpers last night, this is true, against Dallas than Utah hit in the entire series against Dallas. So Phoenix is a nightmare for Dallas. They're going to give the exact same game, multiple scores. Everybody's got a role. They don't need any spikes to win. Nobody has to be amazing to win. Dallas needs guys to play over their head to get these 8 3-point quarters. They've got to get some big breaks. They're going to be up and down in this series. And despite last night's score, I watched every second, it wasn't very competitive. And this is where all 5 Phoenix starters in double figures, shot over 50%, never singularly reliant on any player. So Phoenix is a really tough matchup. We always look in the NBA at star power, but what you see is Phoenix's chemistry on both ends of the floor is fantastic. And it's funny how chemistry works. It's sort of like if couples hang out together and they build a stronger relationship. It's sort of that way with basketball teams. Like Phoenix guys didn't take a lot of games off. They played together all season long. Everybody's playing at least 70 games. What a shock. Look how good the chemistry for Phoenix is. Look at how they pass. And now Golden State had guys that missed a lot of games, but they've been playing together now for 10 years. So look at how good the chemistry is with Golden State. I said that yesterday. They move the ball so well. They know where everybody's going to be. Kevin Durant and Kyrie, they're stars. They don't play together enough. It's like Philadelphia. Now Embiid's hurt. A lot of balls to juggle. Some chemistry issues. So you start looking around this league, and I know everybody thinks the NBA is star power, but, Boston looked really good against Brooklyn. Jaylen Brown, Marcus Smart, Jason Tatum played together for 5 years. You start looking at Milwaukee. Core group of guys mostly played together for 5 years. You look at Phoenix last night. It's just you get the exact same performance out of the Suns. You're going to get double figures, Chris Paul. Booker's going to have over 20. Mikal Bridges, great defender, gives you about 14. Last night, DeAndre Ayton had his way. I know exactly what I get from Phoenix. And I don't even need him to play well. If they just give me what they give me every night, I win the series in 5 games. Dallas may steal a couple games. Dinwiddie gets hot. Jalen Brunson plays over his head. But I watched that thing last night, and as Jason Kidd said after the game, you got to give him something more than Luka.
He got whatever he wanted. When you look at the shots, in the paint, behind the arc, mid-range. And then also I thought he got his teammates some great looks that we normally have made. But I thought he played great. We just got to help him get someone, to join the party.
As it was with Dirk, as it'll be with Luka. When they find that great two, then it's a championship team. Until then, feels like Bitcoin to me. If you're like me, you're not leaving the house much this month. It's the draft. It's NBA playoffs. It's so good. There's so many. I mean, with the transfer portal, USC could get another player, and you got to watch the news. It's the way the world is. You can't leave the house. Well, you can order a car now at driveway.com. You don't have to. At driveway.com, you can browse from over 25,000 new and used vehicles, all inspected by experts. No haggle prices, all with transparency. You get pre-approved for financing, quick and easy. Shop confidently. And when you've made your decision, driveway.com delivers it right to your driveway. So if you're still in the bubble, think about this. A 7-day no-hassle money-back guarantee? Yep, they have that too. Slam dunk. Doesn't matter if you're in Michigan, Arizona, Iowa, Oregon, or Virginia, anywhere in between. Shop for your next car at driveway.com. It's auto done easy. All of financing on approved credit. Again, that's driveway.com.